A very great and pleasant evening, everyone, and welcome to this virtual CPA meeting on Management Accounting Insights, organized by Committee of Management Accounting of ICI and hosted by the Ambala branch of NIRC of ICI. Myself, C.A. Salil Narayan, the moderator for today's evening. And today's topic for our webinar is Management Accounting Insights, Role of Chartered Accountants in Agri-Preneurships. First of all, I welcome all the speakers, esteemed guests, and all the participants to this webinar. For official initiation of the webinar, I would like to invite C.A. Jaspreet Singh Mehendiratta ji, Chairman, Ambala branch of NIRC of ICI, to give welcome address. Welcome, Jaspreet sir, and over to you, sir.
Okay, sir. Thanks, Salil. A very good evening to all of you. I, C.A. Jaspreet Singh Mehendiratta, Chairman of Ambala branch, welcome you all in today's virtual CP meeting on Management Accounting Insights, Role of Chartered Accountants in Agripreneurship, being organized by Committee of Management Accounting of ICAI and hosted by our Ambala branch of NIRC of ICAI. I welcome C.H. Chandan Agarwal ji, who will deliver keynote address of the day. Welcome, sir. I welcome C.A. Rishabh Kumar Samansukha ji, eminent speaker and our faculty of the day. I also welcome all the members who have joined us in today's virtual CP meeting. We are thankful to Committee of Management Accounting of ICAI for giving our Ambala branch an opportunity to host today's VCM. Today's virtual CP meeting is on the topic Role of Chartered Accountants in Agripreneurship. India's economy is predominantly agriculture. More than 65% of Indian population directly or indirectly depends upon agriculture for their livelihood and funds to 16 to 17% of the GDP of our country. India being primarily agricultural, hence agripreneurs play a very important role in the agriculture value chain. They add value and contribute significantly in increasing the agricultural GDP. But the very insufficient growth rate in agricultural sector has been a major challenge for rural development in India. The majority of population living in rural India are unable to reap the benefits of the developmental schemes offered by government in agriculture sector. The major agripreneurship opportunities are in agriculture inputs, farming processes and technology, agriculture output processing and other agriculture-led sectors like dairy development, poultry, horticulture, agriculture and so on. Today's topic is very relevant and I hope we all will enjoy and learn a lot from today's virtual CP meeting. I welcome you all again. Over to you, Salil ji, for further proceedings.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a warm welcome and briefing us about how Committee of Management Accounting of ICI is taking such initiatives. Proceeding further in a row, I would love to make you familiar with our C.A. Chandan Agarwal ji. Mr. C.A. Chandan Agarwal ji has qualified Chartered Accountancy in year 2000 and Bachelor of Law in 2019. He possesses stimulating personality to act as a role model for many. He has been an outstanding professional and his role in the income tax practice over 20 years is really solid and enriching in itself. Due to his knack of picking final point of law, he has been active member in Confederation of Indian Industries and Income Tax Appellate Tribunal and Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants. He is driven by the research and over a year of experience. His mastery over tax laws has hugely benefited the profession and communities at large. Mr. Agarwal ji is currently engaged with Dabur India Limited as tax head and has been serving this position for more than a decade. Prior to this, he was working in Cadbury and Big Four global accounting firms. He regularly interacts, writes, and talks on all the policy matters of taxation and has strong knowledge and its application. Now, I would like to request C.A. Chandan Agarwal ji to give keynote address for this webinar. Over to you, Chandan Agarwal sir, and welcome.
Thank you, Salil. Friends, good evening. This is a very vital topic which concerns each and every one of us sitting and attending this webinar. This is an important webinar because it's on the core economy sector, which is agriculture. Agriculture contributes around 14 to 18% of our GDP. So whatever every year GDP India has, out of that 14 to 18% comes from agri sector. By and large, agri sector since independence or even before that is by and large unorganized. When we say unorganized, what it means is that the farming land in India is held by small and medium farmers, though there are large farmers also, but the primary holding is only with respect to small farmers. And this precisely the reason for this is that India had introduced something called Land Ceiling Act. Now, under Land Ceiling Act, big corporates were not allowed to purchase land in a company beyond a point. So let's say they can purchase 10 acre or 20 acres, but there were by and large restrictions beyond that one cannot do. So the policy of the central government has been that these land should stay with the farmers, poor farmers, marginal farmers, so that their livelihood is sustained and no corporates can get in a way that they are able to consolidate land. So that was on how the land is organized. And now if we look the recent Indian government, this current dispensation, they had a political ambition that they would double farm income by March of 22. And for that purpose, they did bring in farm laws, farm laws, and we all know how farmers were agitated. They were not keen to go ahead on those laws. Subsequently, now it's been clear that government wants to withdraw that. There is a central committee which has withdrawn it. Only subsequently, when a parliament session will come, that those bills will be repealed and the farmers, the old law system would continue. Now we can go into the merits. What were those farm laws and why farmers were in agitation and what would have been the benefits, pros and cons of those laws. But today we will not go into that. It's just because it would be of academic discussion and will bring no point home. Now, second point which revolves around that farm law change is MSP, minimum support price. Now, farmers are saying that we need minimum support price. Now, in the economy, the demand and supply are left to the market forces. And somewhere, if one says that I need a minimum support price, and when the economy is on a demand supply equation, one can have merits and demerits of MSP. Sometimes it will work in favor of farmers, sometimes it will go against them, but let it remain where it is. That is about the pricing. How the CS fraternity would have a very limited role to do anything on that. As chartered accountants, our key purpose is that how do we serve this farming community? Now, if you look at the farming community business, it is said that it is from farm to fork. So what is the meaning of farm to fork is that the crops which is produced in agriculture, in the land, farming land, that reaches to the dining table. And so it is the concept is farm to fork, the complete supply chain from where the food grains, fruits, vegetables, etc. are produced, and they need to reach to the dining table because that is where they would be consumed. So there is a supply chain issue involved in that. Now, for that purpose, there are various things which a CA can only facilitate the business. So there would be accountants who would be drawing up, okay, what was my agriculture produced during the year, which crops. So they are writing accounts, and once the accounts are written by the chartered accountants or the accountants, the question comes about the taxation, whether there would be income tax or there would be GST, what not. Currently, as we talk, no government or in future there will be no governments which can charge income tax on agriculture. Agriculture is exempted under the Indian Income Tax Act. Agriculture, by the way, is a state subject, and that is the precise reason why agriculture cannot be taxed under the Central Income Tax Act, and it's a state subject. In the old days, state used to collect something called land revenue taxes, or some state did collect agriculture income tax as well, but they are very far and remote. So no point on going into that. Secondly, under the Central Income Tax Act, there was something that we need to tax agriculture income by an indirect method. So directly we cannot tax income tax. And what is the meaning of indirectly taxing is that the agriculture income was added to the non-agriculture income, and what rate thereafter came was applied to the non-agriculture income. And that was the indirect tax way of taxing agriculture income, but there is a very little success on that, be it that way. Now, the core question which has been, over the years, last 70 years, is concerning us. Is it fair for agriculture income to be tax neutral, or there should not be any income tax on agriculture? Or, whether a farmer is earning 1 crore, 1 lakh, or 50,000, or even 200 crore, that income is exempt from tax. So the question comes whether there should be some threshold that rich farmers should be brought to tax. Let's say anyone earning more than 50 lakhs. Could an income tax be imposed on that? That can be a fair question, but so far no government has ever thought on this, or even they have thought, there is no political will across, because to bring agriculture to tax, it requires a ratification by the Indian Parliament and all the states put together, and the vote counting should be more than 2/3. Now that is a huge challenge, and akin to what GST is. GST was something like that because it required amendment to the constitution. So that was on the statute as regard income tax. Now GST is also by and large exempt on cereals, grains, fruit, vegetables which are in raw condition. They are produced by farmers, sold to the market. It is tax free. But what is taxed is something called food processing. So we take something as a raw material, fruits, vegetables, we make juices out of that. Now juices are not tax exempt under the GST law, and even under the income tax, they are subject to tax. So there is some taxation with regards to food processing, but simultaneously government has introduced some tax exemptions with respect to those sectors as well, because agriculture as a sector is something from the agricultural land, and from that produce it will go to warehouse, cold storages, there's a supply chain involved, it will go to the factories, labor would work on that raw material, produce finished goods. So there's a complete supply chain involved in that, and which requires part processing, full processing, and other allied matters in that, and they are connected fertilizers or equipment industry or something, water supply, this and that, everything is there, which one has to factor in. But for today's discussion, what we are concerned as a CA fraternity, how do we elevate ourselves in this agri laws? How do we aid to the farmers sector, whether they are small, medium, and large? Recently CAG did a interesting finding, and they took a period of some 2014 to 2018, and people who had filed their income tax return, and claimed agriculture income as an exempt, what CAG found was that in 22% of the cases where the officer has granted exemption, the basic papers were not filed to say that, okay, this exemption is our board is bona fide. So there was a sort of a transparency gap between what was claimed as an agriculture income exempt by virtue of section 10(1) and what supporting papers came up in the course of audit, primarily in the case of assessment and subsequently audited by the CAG. Now that is a huge difference, I would say, in the quality, in what was missing in those papers. Now the question comes, how do we as a CA profession can bring more transparency in claim of agriculture income as tax exempt? something which is tax exempt, it requires a strict monitoring, because tax is a public money, and something which is a public money, to make it as tax exempt, the onus is very high, and one can only discharge the onus when and only the papers are transparent, reliable, and it can be verified and audited, first by the company's own CA, then by the income tax department, followed by the CAG. On these aspects, I think, friends, there's a huge work pending, which we as a CA fraternity can, impart and make small, medium farmers learn about how to keep some sort of a records in excess of 3 lakhs, because up to 3 lakhs there is no taxation, but above 3 lakhs, though agriculture income is non-taxed, but if the data is not there, and to say that it is an agriculture income, it becomes an area of dispute. And once it becomes an area of dispute, to produce future papers, it might be time bound. It may take longer time. This unnecessary litigation which farmer may or may not afford. So on that area, I strongly feel we as a CA fraternity who are spread across India, whosoever comes in contact with farmers, do have a friendly chat with your farmer friends. Possibly guide them as to what sort of records they should keep so as to take tax exemption in a fair manner, and that should be suffice to build the confidence between the farmer, the CA, and the income tax department. Now, the question which has been, of a dispute is that many people in India, they are not agriculturists by profession, but yet they are declaring agriculture income, because agriculture income is tax exempt, and out of total returns filed in India, only 3% are audited. Balance 97% are not audited, because income tax department only employs 50,000 people. 50,000 people cannot audit all the returns. Now, if that is the case, that means what is happening is government is not in position to audit everything. What would mean is there would be some unscrupulous people who would like to take advantage of this system. And this is where the risk comes. If a genuine business income is declared as agriculture income, the economy suffers. Now, there is a tax evasion. It can be a case of money laundering. It can be a case of a GST evasion. So that income, though it comes into the banking channel, it becomes legal or a white money in a contrasting situation, because it gets unaudited and that money is rolling in the system, which is injurious to the nation. So I would sincerely urge every member who's listening to this that speak to your friends, speak to farmers, educate them about the laws, and offer them a good rate. Don't charge heavy money, and sometimes you can do it free of service also to the farming community. That okay, I'll come forward, I'll assist you, I'll not charge any money, but I'll ensure that what you have earned will be in a transparent, declared manner, and there would be no victimization of yours. So I think this is a good opportunity on the GST front, on a income tax front. As regards GST, they are the basic crops, as we know, is exempt from taxation. That also can be claimed by virtue of returns, but those returns are subject to the turnover limits. If somebody is above 20 lakhs, or I think it's 40 lakhs, if they are above that threshold, then the records has to be maintained. Otherwise, it's not a case where even if it's less than 40 lakhs, it might not require an audit under income tax, because agriculture income is taxed as business income under income tax. So, but it is subsequently exempted by way of section 10(1), but still the records has to be there from both income tax and GST. And we can talk more on this, but I think today's idea of this keynote was just to alert you, to bring to your attention that agriculture income, which is tax exempt, has its own consequences. And since it has consequences which is non-tax, as a CA fraternity, we should help our community and ensure the paperwork, because the core paperwork has to be done only by the chartered accountants or by the qualified accountants if they are available in the market. But a CA is in a better position because he understands the law of taxation and GST in a very fairly and a square manner. And that be the case, then we should be the forefront runner to assist them, whosoever comes in our contact. Or we can strive, or basically CA Institute can also organize some sort of camps, that how do you help, keeping documents and records for the farmers, because as of now there is no single I would say software or in income tax which is in position to help these farmers, because farmers by and large has been considered to be marginal. They cannot afford, they cannot interact. There is always a problem of government interacting with so many farmers who are into unorganized, how to identify where farmers, and India is a huge country, so all those problems are there. But CA Institute, which is well networked in India, very organized, they can surely do something on this front. And I think I would also request Institute through some letters that how we can as a fraternity help the sector. With that, I would like to end my keynote address, and I thank you for patiently listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chandan sir, for your kind words. Moving ahead in the row, I feel extremely honored to welcome our eminent speaker, CA Rishabh Kumar Savansukh, to enlighten us on today's topic of our discussion, role of CA in agripreneurship. CA Rishabh Kumar Savansukh is a chartered accountant and masters in business and finance. He is also a strategist from IIM Ahmedabad. He also possesses expertise in taxation, financial and legal matters for more than 15 years. He has also worked in PSU named Indian Oil Corporation, and he also worked with many MNCs like Coca-Cola and Oracle. He also worked in unicorn startup like Snapdeal. He is a certified social branding expert, arbitrator and mediator. He is also serving as a Chief Secretary, Apex GITO Business Network. He has founded 5 startups and also investors in 3 of them. He is partner in the 9th largest management consultancy firm in India. He has also developed community commerce concept in year 2012 and now working on Life Dekho concept to help brands, communities, FPOs and especially agripreneurs in achieving their objective faster. He is having mission to support developing 1 million hectares of wasteland in India before year 2030 and transform 1 million professionals and youth to become agripreneur. We are eager and excited to listen from you, sir, and get some useful insights on today's topic, role of chartered accountants in agripreneurship. Over to you, Rishabh, sir, and welcome.
Thank you, Jasprit ji, Salil ji, and it was a great keynote by Chandan ji. Thank you very much. And friends, those who are listening, I am CA Rishabh Savansukh, and I urge all the practicing chartered accountant, CAs in industry, and CAs who are entrepreneur like me to basically embrace this sector, which is a rising sector. So I'll start my presentation that enter the future, because we all know that when this pandemic started last year, it took the world by a surprise. And not only professional, every human being on this planet was taken by a surprise that how to handle and what is next, what is the next new normal. So I'll start with the very famous author Robert T. Kiyosaki. His famous book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which everyone might have read already. The second book he wrote was Cash Flow Quadrant, because during the pandemic, everybody realized the value of cash flow. whether it is on your client side or it is at the professional side. So the entire world is divided between these four categories which you can see on my screen. कि पूरी दुनिया को हमने चार भागों में बांट दिया, एम्प्लॉय, सेल्फ एम्प्लॉयड, बिजनेस ओनर्स एंड इन्वेस्टर. हमारी चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट फ्रेटर्निटी भी इन्हीं चार भागों में बटी है. More than 250,000 or 3 lakh chartered accountants are either employee working for some organization, or they are self-employed working for themselves, or they are running their own businesses, or they are investing. So the large percentum goes to the chartered accountants who are self-employed, and that is why we need to continuously educate ourselves, we need to continuously upgrade ourselves. And in the saying of Warren Buffett, that my biggest investment is not in the companies, my biggest investment is on me, on myself, because the next day is not going to be the same. So I need to improve myself. So the more time we spend on looking at the opportunities, the more better we will be in terms of professional, in terms of as a successful human being. So my today's topic is agripreneur, and agripreneur can reside in any of these four categories. So it is not necessary that to become an agripreneur you need to have a large ownership of land. As Chandanji said that ownership of land is restricted in our country. Of course, if you go to Africa, there is no restriction, but in India there is a restriction. So, but to become an agripreneur, you don't need to own the land, you don't need to do the cultivation, you don't need to know how to farm, but you can become an agripreneur. Now, in my next 1 hour or more, which I have been given by the institute, I am going to reveal 8 opportunities for my fellow chartered accountants who are either doing practice or who are either working for any other organization. And I will also touch upon some business opportunities and some investment opportunities also for those entrepreneur chartered accountants who are neither working, who are neither doing practice, but doing something which is job creation or wealth creation. So let us go one by one. So when we say that bigger the threat, bigger is the opportunity. And it is not me who is saying that. The most successful people in the world, whether it's Elon Musk or Mukesh Ambani or Jeff Bezos, everyone has taken the threat to convert it into an opportunity. So today the threats which we all know, no need to tell that we have smallholder farmers, we have wastelands, we have climate change is coming, we have lack of capital, lack of knowledge, lack of infrastructure, cold chains are missing, supply chain is broken, all those things we all know. So I am not going to talk about that. Today I am going to talk about how these bigger threats can be converted into bigger opportunity. So let us know the size and impact of the opportunity. ये agripreneurship का जो area है वो कितना बड़ा है. And in my presentation, friends, I will not talk about ज्ञान, no marketing. I will only give you some logic, some perspective, so that you can go back and check within your own circle of influence, within your own network of friends, within your own client network, how you can add value as a professional to their life. So friends, we all might have read in the newspaper, on the television or on the internet that the COP26, which just concluded in Glasgow, everybody was talking about climate resilience, ESG. What is this ESG? ESG is nothing but environment, society and governance. We all know as a professional that and as a human being, we don't have any planet B. हमारे पास कोई दूसरा planet नहीं है. यही एक planet है जिसपे हमने हर व्यक्ति को 100 साल की उम्र मिली है अपना कुछ करके दिखाने की. But the planet is millions of years old. Okay, so we don't have any planet B. So we as a human, all the countries have signed up the pledge that we are going to do no action which goes against the climate. We have to combat the climate change. We have to combat the degradation of land. We have to combat that forests are reducing. And believe me, this is all where the opportunity for a finance professional lies, because for any kind of a combating exercise, the funds are required. And we chartered accountant knows how to not only audit the fund, but how to create the financial prudence in terms of utilization, in terms of achieving the desired goals. So chartered accountants are not only considered the best CFOs, they are right now operating as a best CEOs also in many large organizations. I don't want to count names here, but you can see Kumar Mangalam Birla is a glaring example, Sri Vallabh Bhansali, Motilal Oswal. All, I think there are hundreds of names worldwide. CAs and CPAs are the people who are driving the economy, the macro level as well as at the micro level. So 130 trillion US dollar in next 10 years as per Bank of England and Bank of Canada are going to be mobilized for ESG compliant companies and climate resilient projects. So 1 trillion, my friends, is around 75 lakh crore. और हम बात कर रहे हैं 130 ट्रिलियन की वर्ल्ड वाइड. So you can understand what is the size of funds I am talking about and what is the kind of opportunity I am talking about. As per the KPMG latest report on climate change, they are saying that the next climate change is going to be factoring people more than profit. So there are 5P concept. We all know 5P are what? People, planet, then prosperity, peace and partnership. So the net zero, you all might have heard in the newspaper. I'm connecting the dots. So what is the net zero? The net zero is a pledge which every country has taken. Somebody will do it by 2050, somebody will do it by 2070, but everybody is trying net zero means whatever we are damaging, जो debit कर रहे हैं वो credit भी करना है. So this is a game of debit credit and net has to be zero. So I am simplifying it for all my friends who are listening to this right now on ICAI TV. The countries who are benefiting most from the climate funds are like this. You can see Morocco, Mexico, Brazil, South Africa, India. The kind of money which has already been gone in for climate finance over the past 1 decade. And believe me friends, these numbers which have been pumped into past 1 decade, in next 2 year, 3 year, you will see bigger numbers flowing in this direction. So when the bigger funds are coming in, the bigger role and responsibility for all of chartered accountants who are involved in agri-food value chain. Let me give you some data. India is the world's second largest producer of rice, wheat, sugarcane, cotton, groundnut, fruits, vegetable. It also produces 25% of the world's pulses. यानी हमारे पास में 38 एग्रो क्लाइमेटिक जोन्स हैं, 20 से ज्यादा बड़ी नदियां हैं. एट ए सिंगल पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आप देख सकते हैं लद्दाख में भयंकर ठंड पड़ रही है, साउथ में गर्मी पड़ती है, दिल्ली में हल्की हल्की ठंड शुरू हो गई है. दिस इज व्हाट द इंडिया इज ऑल अबाउट. सो इंडिया इज ए मैग्निफिसेंट कंट्री with so much of climatic zone, with so much of naturally blessed country, and we produce 300 plus million metric ton of food grain, 326 million metric ton of horticulture like fruits, vegetables, tree nuts. We produce more than 200 million ton of milk. Now in milk we have seen a big success of cooperative, and now with the new Ministry of Cooperation already in place, we will see the cooperative success will be replicated faster in many other areas also. That is where the problem of smallholder will get resolved forever. So what is the target we as a country has taken? Our Honorable Prime Minister has given this target that before 2030, India will develop 26 million hectares of wasteland. Now we all know real estate, we all know agriculture land, we all know forest land, private land. But what is this wasteland? Actually, the wasteland is the land which we cannot see because we generally travel through roads. We travel through highways, state highways, national highways, rural roads. So all the land which we see on the left and right of the road are either private land, forest land, real estate, agriculture land, but India has got huge wasteland also. The land which is off the balance sheet of the country. which means the land which has not been utilized. And as a chartered accountant, we all know, and we must know, that how to use the unused asset of the country. When you make the balance sheet of the country, then we will realize that, what are those assets which are not being used. So how to use them? We need to invest. For example, oil and gas. I started my career with oil and gas. India import a lot of oil, crude oil. So India wanted to become energy secure. So what we did, we started exploration. 100 years ago, we started in Assam, Digboi. Then we moved to offshore, Kakinada, Rajmundry, Ankleshwar, so Badmer. These are all, massive exploration exercises were conducted on multiple square kilometer of land so that we can become energy secure. Now let us talk about food security. We have to feed 1.3 billion people. By 2050, we have to feed probably 1.6 billion people. So we need to grow food. We need to go against the odd. Even if the climate changes, even if the temperature rises, we need 3-time meal, right? We have to feed 3-time meal to our population. And friends, we all have seen during the pandemic, because we are the largest producer of grains, we are the largest producer of pulses, we could feed our people even during the pandemic, and nothing wrong happened. Therefore, as a professional, you should know that to develop 26 million hectare, we need 100,000 per hectare के हिसाब से if we count. We need $2.6 trillion, which means 200 lakh crore का बजट हमें बनाना पड़ेगा just to improve the soil which is right now degraded, just to get the irrigation systems, just to do the fencing work, just to do the basic planting. What we need is 200 lakh crore, which is double of the national infrastructure pipeline. आप सब लोगों ने देखा होगा कि 100 लाख करोड़ की नेशनल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर पाइपलाइन बनाई गई है, because we have to develop the infrastructure. This is also infrastructure. So there is a massive scope in terms of combating the climate change, and the mission which I have taken for myself is that 1 million agripreneurs need to be transformed. Now, as a professional, as a chartered accountant, we all have to decide कि हमें कौन से दरवाजे से enter करना है. ठीक है, तो choose your agri business carefully. If you want to become agripreneur, then you should know which door is best suited for you as per your capacity, propensity, intensity and intention. Are you good at as an employee? Then you open the door and look for the companies who are into agriculture. For example, Dabur is big way into agriculture. Every big company like Tata, Godrej, Reliance, multinational like Bayer, Syngenta, they all are, lot of companies are there. You will find more than 100 companies who are doing great work in agri space. So you can become an employee as a professional. You can add value by helping them in taxation, helping them in finance, helping them in new financial structures, helping them to raise climate financing, helping them to raise green bonds. A lot of things you can do as an employee. As an advisor, you can become trainer. Like I am right now doing capacity building program. You can become trader also. As an agripreneur, you can do trade, because the globally connecting the dots. Trade is nothing but connecting the dots. Whenever and wherever there is a production, there is no demand. So the demand always happens where there is no production. आज आप Gulf country में जाएंगे, they import food, but India can export food. So all those things, you can set up a factory and food processing unit, or you can become an agri-tech startup, or as an investor you can invest in those startups, because in India more than 350 agri-tech startup has already raised more than $500 million of funds. So your name can be next. You can become an agri-tech startup, and believe me, agri-tech startup are the hot favorite right now. Like we have seen a e-commerce euphoria, a e-commerce boom in 2012-13. Right now the agri boom is going on, and it will go on for next 3 to 4 years. But you have to decide that what is your core and what is your strength. Are you a risk taker, or you are a knowledge worker? Can you do investments? Can you engage the teams? What is your passion? Are you a passionate farmer, like you lot of senior chartered accountant I meet, they have farmhouses and they want to develop, they want to enjoy the life in the lap of nature. But there are many chartered accountants who want to completely shift and they want to come into hydroponics, aeroponics, or maybe some technology driven agriculture. Or some chartered accountants are also into e-commerce, wherein they are supplying fresh fruit and vegetable. I'll share some of the success case study also in my session. So the 8 opportunity which I will reveal today for all chartered accountant will cost less than 1 crore investment. So that this is my disclaimer, that whatever opportunity I am going to tell you will not cost you more than 1 CR. Okay, so all those who are listening right now to me, they can make a note of it. This is the India's agri-tech landscape. तो अगर आपको आज कोई पूछे कि भाई इंडिया में एग्रीटेक के कौन कौन से स्टार्टअप हैं जिनको फंडिंग मिली है, जो कुछ अच्छा कर रहे हैं, this is one of the just I would say that reference point. You can see that market linkage में there are companies like NinjaCart, companies like FarmStar, EcoFarm. Then in farm input side, क्योंकि हमें एग्रीकल्चर को जब हम देखते हैं, we have to divide into 3-4 major segment. Are they into input? Input क्या है? Input is just your fertilizers, pesticides, seed, microfinancing, insurance, and all the farm mechanization, machinery rental. These are all inputs. Then comes the financing side. Financing has got Samunati, Cashflow, FarmMart, Jai Kisan. These are the companies who are working on the. So as a chartered accountant, you can become advisor to this company, or you can start investing in this company, or you can also become create your own businesses doing in this similar area, because sky is the limit. The market size is so big that this list is very small as of now. It is just a beginning. So then there are techno based automation like precision agriculture, wherein you might have heard in the newspaper about nano urea. So nano urea is the precision fertilizing, which will save a lot of money of the farmer. So people are now becoming dealer, distributor, manufacturer, exporter, whatnot. So then farming as a service. Everybody love farm, but how many people love farming? Very few. So that is where there are startups which are helping farming as a service also. कि आपके पास farm है, लाइए हम farming कर देते हैं. And they are very well organized, very well defined. And you all have seen the rise of urban clap, or you know, the people who are doing just a small services, and how big organization they have become over the past. So this is like, you know, the kind of a landscape I am just sharing with you. Now let us start with opportunity number 1. The opportunity number 1 is coming out from the threat number 1. What we all know is the threat number 1 is कि साहब हमारे यहाँ स्मॉल होल्डर फार्मर है, मार्जिनल फार्मर है, फार्मर जो है उनके पास 2-3 हेक्टेयर से ज्यादा जमीन नहीं है, तो उनका क्या होगा, कैसे होगा? The concept is Farmer Producer Organization, FPO. You might have heard about it. Let me explain it from the CA's perspective. What is this FPO? FPO can be registered in 2-3 ways. FPO can be a multi-state, it can be a single state, it can be a registered society, it can be a trust, or it can be registered under MCA portal also. So if you know about FPO, you can help the group of farmer in following services. So let us see what all services a chartered accountant can render in terms of helping the FPO, because the government is targeting to create 10,000 FPOs. Approximately 8,000 FPOs are already working. And if we add on this 26 million hectare of wasteland development, then the total FPO could go nearly 50,000. And believe me, each FPO has a potential to become 200 to 300 crore company, because an FPO of 500 farmer collectively, if you do the simple mathematics, it will become more than 200 crore company doing the collective farming. So the FPO formation, creating the bylaws, drafting the contracts, compliances, DPR, which is detailed project report, APR, annual project report, QPR is quarterly project reports, GST, TDS, accounting automation, grant proposals, bank financing, site audits, procurement policy, FSI licensing, trade financing, input financing. So these are the various opportunity a chartered accountant is best fitted. But unfortunately, when I work with FPOs, I find a lot of gaps, And then I realized that, if chartered accountant can come and bridge this gap, there will be a big service to the nation, and they can also make a decent living professionally out of these services. Then you can go to a little bit on a higher side, like high value added services like legal advisory. You can do arbitration, mediation, dispute resolution, contract farming, contract manufacturing, contract marketing, dealing with agri-tech companies, because agri-tech companies also, they need a lot of support professionally to deal with the FPOs. Then conducting the board meetings, hiring the project implementing teams, and management consulting. So these are the high-end services wherein it will require more senior people. They can come into these areas if they have passion for agriculture, if they have they want to diversify and get into some new areas. These are the various areas open for that. Then comes the more entrepreneurial area wherein CAs as a business or as an investor, you can come into product innovation, you can come into branding, direct to customer, D2C brand building, food processing project you can set up, or you can help as a co-founder, you can help in setting up these projects. Financial structuring, like getting the international finance or getting the finance from banks or maybe from NBFCs. Then packaging innovation. India as a country, we offer more than 90,000 different variety of botanical things. We have herbs, shrubs, spices, and before 200 years ago, India used to contribute more than 32% of the world's GDP. Today we contribute only 3%. So we have a miles to go. We have more than 10x room for 10x growth. So there you can work on packaging innovation, e-commerce, fulfillment services, warehousing services, cold chain units, freeze drying units, because more than 40 million ton of fruits and vegetables are wasted in the farm. So you can develop the models of waste to wealth. Then renewables, solar, waste to wealth, integrated input management, and seed bank, because a lot of seeds are vanishing. Every day 2,000 farmers are leaving farming business in India every day. So as a professional, you can actually come forward. This is a blue ocean. This is a blue water of opportunity where you will find very less competition. Everywhere else you go, you will find competition. If you go for tax consulting or you go for an auditing, you will find everybody is doing the same thing. But how many people are actually doing this kind of an activity? Very few. So these are the list of registers which a chartered accountant would be required to maintain for an FPO. And I'm not reading this out. This is available. I will share the presentation copy also with the institute. If you want, you can refer it. So the integrated, now opportunity number 2, integrated wasteland projects, where India will develop 26 million hectare of by 2030, and the basic investment, the basic investment will be around more than $2 trillion, which is around 150 lakh करोड़. अगर इतना पैसा लगने वाला है और इतने पूरे इंडिया में ये काम होगा, तो आप ये समझ सकते हैं कि what all the opportunities. So let me give you one example of the project where I got involved. The project was in Ladakh at the 12,000 feet, a cold desert, not a drop of water, not a blade of grass, and even the oxygen was less than 30%. तो वहां जाने में आप देख सकते हैं, if you are standing here, how you will feel. Of course, you need a strong heart, a brave heart to work on these kind of a location. But as a chartered accountant, I got the opportunity to work on a project called Ladakh Farmer and Producer Cooperative Limited, which was an FPO created by Mr. ML Mantu, an integrated wasteland development expert in the country with more than 45 years of experience. So what he did was phenomenal, and I really got impressed with that. The 218 families of a village called Rambirpur was transformed with social transformation, and a land parcel of 2,500 acres was given to the cooperative by the government to the cooperative of locals for the development. Mr. Manto, as a CEO of the cooperative, he built up a team of experts, of advisors, and he did 27 crop trials at the height of 12,000 feet. And out of which we succeeded in 25. Started with mustard, and ended up with saffron. First time in the history of Ladakh, saffron was grown on a trial basis with the help of CSIR. CSIR is the government body. They have their headquarters in Palampur, Himachal. Then, when that saffron was grown, first time in the history of Ladakh, it became an international news. But you can consider that news becomes when you succeed. But before that, you have to work hard. You have to work very, very hard. And that hard work goes in the foundation of anything. So as a chartered accountant, we are all tuned to work hard because we have worked hard, that then only we got this degree. So we should not be shying away to build the nation, to help in nation building also. And that will be the true professionalism we can show. So I did couple of things there. We automated the accounting, we implemented real books. Then we set up freeze drying plant and flower extraction plant also. The whole agenda was to increase the income of these 218 families who are the member of the cooperative and how we can best help them professionally. So the grant was given by NABARD, around 9 crore grant was given to the cooperative. Then the CSR funding was arranged through the local development, the district commissioner. Then today the project is ready to take up, ready to scale up. The saffron, which is the highest, most expensive spice in the world, will be grown by this village called Rambirpur. So this is just one of the example. There will be hundreds and thousands of such Rambirpurs will get created in next 10 years. And there will be hundreds and thousands of chartered accountants will be required in every project to support the project from the beginning till the complete cycle. So what is this complete cycle? Let me explain to you so that you can figure out opportunities for you within your district, within your village, within your taluka, wherever you are. Because generally people who live in metros, they generally lose these kind of opportunity. So my message to all the chartered accountants who are living in tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities and also in the villages and taluks, you guys are sitting on the gold mine of opportunity. So just go and grab them because you are sitting on a blue water. You are surfing on a blue ocean. You can help these projects, these clients who are FPOs or the government administration or the agencies, government agencies, in terms of forming the cooperative, creating the land use agreements, FPO charters, FPO registers, conducting the meeting at village level, banking, accounting, shared services, educating, capacity building, preparing the RFPs, request for proposals, procurement process setting, and also helping them with grants, cooperative public-private partnership, negotiation, appointment of the project implementing agencies, progress tracking, which is very big area, fraud prevention and loss control, internal audit of fund utilization and proper accounting. These are the areas which are very, very essential for any project to survive, for any FPO to succeed. Because as we all know, with financial mess, you can succeed one day, 2 days, but third day you will collapse. Even the big corporations like Enron collapsed because of financial mess. So there is a role of chartered accountant to prevent those things to happen. Then on a high-end services, on a bigger opportunity scale, you can also look at carbon credit exchange, climate audits, CSR funding, ESG funding, modern living solutions you can create. You can organize investor summits on a virtual mode. Nowadays, we all are working, connecting with each other on a virtually. So you can do investor summits, you can do MOU management, and also technical tie-up of the FPO with large government organization, with universities, research and product POC operations. What is POC? Proof of concept. Because as I told you that we did 27 trials, 25 we succeeded, but every trial got a record keeping. Every trial has got some learnings. So the proof of concept is where we succeeded, now we can scale it up. So that is called proof of concept. So friends, I have told you 2 opportunities, total 8 हैं. मैं अब आपको तीसरी अपॉर्चुनिटी के पास लेके जाता हूं. The third opportunity is, हम सब लोग e-commerce यूज करते हैं. We all are using the beautiful platforms like Amazon, Flipkart, Grofers, Myntra, Nykaa, whatnot, right? So we have so many platforms. That is all e-commerce. तो क्या एग्रीकल्चर में, क्या एग्रीप्रेन्योरशिप में भी मार्केट प्लेसेस हैं? आंसर इज यस. We will see a lot of marketplaces coming into B2B space, B2C space, like My eKisan, Dehat, then Off Business, O Agri Farm. So there are so many. I don't want to name all of them, but if you see, do some Google research, you will find so many marketplaces are coming, so many aggregators are coming. Those who will provide fulfillment services, warehousing services, and their scales are going to be very, very big, very, very high. Because the agriculture itself, as Chandanji told, that the itself is contributing 16% of the GDP, and it is going to increase further. Because we were the country where, because of agriculture, we used to contribute 32% of the world's GDP. Today we are contributing 16% of our own GDP. So you can imagine the kind of a growth, the elbow room for growth is available for Indian agripreneurs. So here in this opportunity number 3, what you can do is you can look out for the websites called ENAM, National Agriculture Market, SFAC, Small Farmer Associations, NABARD, Amazon, Swiggy, Grofar, Zomato, Dehat, O Agri Farm, My eKisan. So all those online, you can see them and start building your tools and transactions, because they need people like chartered accountant to reconcile the volume they are doing, because their volumes are enormous. Their volumes are phenomenal. So as a chartered accountant, you need to work with them. First you need to understand them, that what they are doing, what kind of a services they are offering, what is warehousing, what is fulfillment, how they manage billing, collection, how they provide digital branding, sales growth strategies क्या हैं उनके warehouse में audit की क्या-क्या संभावनाएं हैं, how you can help them in getting the international approvals and licenses, how you can help them in FEMA, RBI, and so many other issues. So depending on your own skill set, depending on your own core strength as a chartered accountant, you can actually work as a partner, as a business partner, not as an advisor, with these people who are doing great work in agripreneurship, in agri-food value chain. Then if you have a technical skill set, or within your firm, or within your family, or within your network, if you know somebody who is technically equipped, you can work on digital commerce bots also. You can create online marketplace reconciliation tools. I have a lot of friends with whom I'm working. They have created beautiful tools, and they are chartered accountants, and they are working on automation side. Then GST reconciliation tools, very, very important area. Then you can do Google Sheet and WhatsApp based simple CRM tools you can create for your clients. You can integrate Tally and Shopify or Amazon with the WhatsApp based solution. So there are so many opportunities. The sky is the limit. The more deeper you will go, the more clearer view you will have that these opportunities are the opportunity of future, where you will have less competition, more opportunity. Then as a chartered accountant, you can also help your client in setting up the National Agriculture Market Practice, or you can build your own practice of NAM, ENAM. ENAM is nothing but an aggregation of all the mandis. In India, we have thousands of mandis, right? The mandis which are selling grains, selling fruits, vegetable, whatnot. So all these mandis are now registered with a single platform made by the government of India, which is called National Agriculture Market. So you can start your practice by creating the awareness to your clients who are into general trading, who are into grain trading. Most of the people who are living in tier 2 and tier 3, they might have a lot of income tax clients who are doing trading business. कि भी आड़त की दुकान है, कमीशन की दुकान है, all those people might be your clients, right? And they might not be aware about these innovations. So if you know about it, you can aware them, you can make them realize that benefit of NAM. What is the benefit of NAM? Transparent online trading, real-time price discovery, better price realization. There are so many things. So once you go, so I'm just giving you a list of the websites which you can actually go through, and you will learn and you will understand that where these opportunity lies. So NABARD, SFAC India, ENAM, AgriCorp, and ASI India. ASI India is Agriculture Skill Development. So you can actually get yourself updated, upgraded, and skilled to handle these kind of an opportunity and to become more useful for your existing client or the new clients. So this is what I'm talking for the practitioner chartered accountant. But if you are in industry, you can become more useful or more important person for your employer also, if you know all this. So now, friends, let us go to the opportunity number 4. Opportunity number 4 is all about fintech, neo banking, digital bank, digital KYC and profile building. दोस्तों आपको सबको पता है कि हम लोग इंडिया हैज लीपफ्रॉग्ड इनटू डिजिटल, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ पे लैपटॉप का एरा आने से पहले हम सीधा डेस्कटॉप से मोबाइल पे मूव कर गए। हम लोग डेस्कटॉप यूज करते करते एकदम से जंप मार के मोबाइल पे चले गए, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ 900 मिलियन पीपल आर यूजिंग स्मार्टफोन टुडे फॉर ऑल देयर वर्क। हम लोग सब बैंकिंग अपने मोबाइल से करते हैं। कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो बैंक में फिजिकली जाके अपना काम करते हैं? नहीं करते। हमारे क्लाइंट भी नहीं करते, हम भी नहीं करते। तो इसका मतलब जो बैंकिंग है, बिकॉज ऑफ मोबाइल कॉमर्स, बिकॉज ऑफ मोबाइल बैंकिंग एंड बिकॉज ऑफ द आधार हैज बिकम काइंड ऑफ ए बेस फॉर एवरीथिंग। देन यू हैव जनधन अकाउंट, then you have mobile, then you have ID, which is common ID, then GST. So with all these dots connecting together with one PAN number, with one Aadhaar PAN connected together, we are on the cusp of a big banking revolution. अभी recently नीति आयोग ने एक पेपर पब्लिश किया है about digital bank licensing. They are offering, RBI is offering licenses for digital bank. मतलब उस बैंक का कोई ब्रांच नहीं होगा, कोई एटीएम नहीं होगा, वो बैंक पूरा का पूरा डिजिटली ऑपरेट करने वाला है। देयर इज अ डिटेल गाइडेंस नोट। इफ यू गाइज आर इनटू बीएफएसआई स्पेस, इफ यू गाइज आर ऑलरेडी इनटू बैंकिंग स्पेस, लोन प्रोसेसिंग, फंड रेजिंग, प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग, then this is very very important document for you to read and decide how you can become an agripreneur and create the first digital bank of the country. That will open up massive opportunity. Of course, microfinancing is already operating in the country, but digital bank is also a need of the hour. और ये चार्ट आप देखिए, इससे मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूंगा कि डिजिटल बैंकिंग की कितनी जरूरत है, क्योंकि एग्रीकल्चर स्पेस में इंस्टेंट फंडिंग, जैसे हमने एमएसएमई में देखा, 1 घंटे में आपका लोन आ जाता है। देयर इज अ वेबसाइट, मैंने खुद उस पे वन ऑफ माय क्लाइंट, आई जस्ट डिड इट जस्ट टू सी कि 1 घंटे में लोन कैसे अप्रूव होता है। इफ यू हैव ऑल द डॉक्यूमेंट इन प्लेस, इफ यू हैव ऑल द कंप्लायंस इन प्लेस, आपका एमसीए कंप्लायंस पक्का है, जीएसटी पक्का है, आपकी आईटीआर टाइम पे गई भी है, देन यू डोंट नीड टू वरी, योर लोन विल कम इंस्टेंटली। आपका मल्टीपल बैंक्स विल बिड फॉर इट and you can take a print, go to your bank and get your loan sanctioned. This is the speed at which our country is now operating. So now with a similar speed, if we can get a digital bank funding the agripreneurial need, funding the farmer producer organization need, funding the farmers need, or maybe the farmer group need, it will be another bigger revolution than a green revolution. Because let us see the type of farming which can happen or which is happening worldwide. We have private small farmer or mid-sized farmer, then we have private big farmer, then we have government is also doing farming, cooperative farms, corporate farming, community farming, collaborative farming and contract farming. So these are the various type of farming. So I have given the chart a comparison that where the investment of land. So the private has to invest in land, but in the community farming or a contract farming, you don't invest in the land. But the productivity levels can go high, low, depending on, So this is not something which is sacrosanct. This is just indicative. But if you see the red spots, the fintech access and the processing, in terms of community farming, collaborative farming, FPO driven farming, the access to finance is a big challenge. That is where the opportunity lies, that you can take help of technologies like digital banking, KYC and blockchain to get the easy access of fund to these people. So friends, I give you one example of an entrepreneur, a 23-year-old guy. He started 2 years ago. He is doing onion business. He created a brand in onion. He is doing 200 ton per day capacity. He is buying from 18,000 farmers, giving them same day payment and making a very good ROI case. But when it comes to funding, it takes a lot of time to get funding in the current situation. But if you go to any other country, if you have a business, if you have a running business, or if you have an idea which is already scalable, you get instant funding. So there is an ample scope for any client of yours who is into banking space or NBFC space to look at these kind of an agripreneurs. There are thousands of agripreneurs waiting for the funding to grow fast, grow overnight. So this is an opportunity not to be missed, my friends. Now we have a lot of KYC systems available. We have a lot of checks and controls available to get the best credit rating before we lend them. So the fifth opportunity is agri input opportunity. Agriculture is the game of input and output, because you need to do input, you need to provide labor, seeds, fertilizers, micronutrients, pesticides, finance, machinery, then only you can grow the crop. In India, generally we do 2 crops, Rabi and Kharif, but we can do 3 crops, even 4 crops also, depending on the intensity at which we do our cultivation. So the opportunity for chartered accountant is to support the aggregators, the collaborators, the logistics companies, the listing and discovery sites, and also you can create your own WhatsApp Dukaan. Nowadays, everybody is talking about WhatsApp because WhatsApp is nothing but a chat platform wherein we all spend 3 to 4 hours on WhatsApp. हम सभी लोगों को कहते हैं ना भाई WhatsApp कर दो, WhatsApp भेज दो, WhatsApp भेजा. So we all are living the double blue tick life, right? So WhatsApp is now can be used with the API and the bots. You can actually make use of WhatsApp for your client. You can suggest them the best BRD flows, the business requirement documents, so that their life become busy to easy. अगर आप अपने client की life busy से easy बनाते हैं तो वो आपको प्रोफेशनल फीस में कभी भी कटौती नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि आपने उसकी लाइफ में वैल्यू ऐड किया है. अगर आप अपनी क्लाइंट की लाइफ को बिजी से ओवर बिजी बना देते हो तो बोलेगा कि भाई मेरे सीए साहब जो है वो मेरे को उसको डर लगेगा फिर आपसे मिलने में, बोलेंगे आप तो मेरा काम बढ़ा देते हो. तो आपको अपने क्लाइंट का काम आसान करना है, तो इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम, योर टीम्स टाइम इनटू looking out for the new and new technologies, digital asset building, so that you can help your client grow faster or even sustain. Because nowadays in pandemic, we have seen the businesses who sustained are doing much better than the businesses who collapsed and could not survive or could not revive. You can look at the biomanufacturing also, because now everybody has understood the importance of good food. We all need good food. People are now looking deeper into their food, what they are eating. So you can actually get into natural farming, organic labels, and bio manufacturing or biofertilizer, bio inputs. So these companies are also looking for fundraise. They are also looking for compliance. They are looking for CFOs. They are looking for people who can help them in understanding the tax nuances, etc., etc. So there are a couple of sites which you can look at like NEFED, PPQS, and National Horticulture Board. They offer a lot of subsidies, lot of schemes which people don't understand. So they don't understand, so they don't go for it. So as a chartered accountant, it is our role and responsibility to make them understand, to make them feel comfortable that yes, these schemes are available for you, and we will help you to create your file. We will help you to create your proposals so that you get the benefit of these schemes, and ultimately it will help the nation to grow. So you can go to these sites and then check out. There are multiple such opportunities. Now let us come to opportunity number 6, which is again very important, very interesting. That is called a concept which is very much popular in Japan and USA. It is called community supported agribusiness, community supported agriculture. What is this all about? चलिए हम सिंपल सी बात करते हैं. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूँ. There is a chartered accountant friend of mine, CA Rajendra Gora. He actually lives in Jaipur, and his village is 30 kilometers from Jaipur. During the lockdown, he went to his village and he found that in entire village was struggling because there were hell lot of fruits and vegetables and milk, but there were no buyer. क्योंकि पूरा शहर जब लॉकडाउन हो जाता है तो कंजम्पशन भी एकदम से धड़ाम से गिर गया. जब कंजम्पशन गिर गया तो प्रोडक्शन तो हो ही रहा है, तो नेचुरली द प्राइसेस फॉल डाउन, बट सिटीज में प्राइस नहीं गिरे. तो बिकॉज ऑफ his chartered accountancy and his knowledge of the numbers, he found कि भी गांव के अंदर में 3 रुपए से 5 रुपए किलो मिल रहा है और शहर में हम 30 से 40 रुपीस किलो में खरीद के खा रहे हैं, और गांव और शहर के बीच में डिस्टेंस सिर्फ 30 मिनट का है. तो उसके अंदर का एग्रीप्रेन्योर जाग गया. He said कि बॉस ये क्या हो रहा है? There is a gap. There is a gap means there is an opportunity, and there is an opportunity. तो मैं of course, as a chartered accountant, I can't sell vegetables, but I can build an experience, I can build a brand. So he created a brand called Safe and Green because he wanted to help the farmers. He wanted to help the farmer to get 25% more price, and he wanted to help the consumer to pay less price, and he did connecting what farm to fork. उसने वही काम किया जो हम सब theoretically हम सब जानते हैं, but practically जो करता है फायदा उसी को मिलता है. So what he did is he actually used the communication, creativity, and build a community of consumers who were supporting the farmers by paying them the better price than the wholesale market and getting things directly from the farm to the consumer doorstep. So he created a small team, the local young guys from the village, and within 6 months, these people got a Hyundai Creta car by their own startup, by their own business. तो आप देख सकते हैं how Safe and Green safely created a green business, a clean business, and a sustainable business. So there is enough opportunities for a professional to do professionally. Whatever you do, big or small, doesn't matter. Friends, you have to solve a problem. The bigger problem you solve, the bigger you can make your business. That is what we have learned from all the startups. Because the startup come, they try to solve a problem, they evolve, they make the solution proper, and they get the funding, and then they make it bigger. तो जो हम लोग सब बोलते हैं ना कि इनको लॉस के लिए पैसा क्यों मिलता है, लॉस के लिए पैसा किसी को नहीं मिलता है. पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया जाता है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड किया जाता है, प्रॉब्लम को प्रॉपरली समझा जाता है, उसको सॉल्व किया जाता है, एंड वंस इट इज सॉल्व देन यू कैन रिप्लिकेट. So if you have any idea which has got a solution and which is scalable, then you can also get the funding. So become now the simplest part, easiest part, ज्ञान देना है, become faculty, become trainer, talk about agripreneurship 2.0 like I am talking. Talking के लिए कोई आपको passion होना चाहिए, and you can talk, but you should talk sense, you should talk logic, and instead of giving just knowledge, if you can develop the capacity building programs, you can make 10,000 to 50,000 rupees a month easily wherever you are sitting. Even if you are sitting in a small village, if you can develop the capacity building program, you will find your market nearby. If you can launch your workshops, training modules, you can launch your courses, because people who are agripreneur, everybody knows how to do farming. I'm not telling you to start teaching about farming, which is not your core area. As a chartered accountant, you should teach what is your core. हमारा core क्या है? Audit, accounting, taxation, legal, technology, business, finance, all those things. And there is enough opportunity which institute is providing in terms of digital learning platform. आप अपनी capacity को build कर सकते हैं. You can become useful for the small, medium, large, very large multinational companies also. If you pick up some core area and start delivering your sessions on that, you will find a lot of takers for it, because believe me, people who are non-finance, they know the value of finance more than the financial guys. This is just an example. I am doing this course on next month with the Indian Institute of Material Management for 6,000 supply chain and procurement people. This is a 15-hour course. So there are multiple services you can also provide as an opportunity. I'm talking about capacity building, business automation. You can simply assist them to create a pitch deck, because in most of the pitch decks created by the creative people, but they need to be backed up by the 5-year, 3-year, 10-year financial projections, ROI, EBITDA, valuation, so many things. So as a chartered accountant, you can also assist the government agencies and the FPOs to create their DPRs, QPRs. You can help them in market linkage, do online research, offline research. You can also travel on behalf of your client to participate in the exhibition, international programs, so that you bring the right knowledge for them. You can provide them legal and tax help so that they can minimize their disputes. You can help them drafting the agreements. There are hundreds of agreements required even by an FPO. For everything you need an agreement. Then now opportunity number 8. Now after listening to me for so long, you might be tired ना, you might be feeling कि यार ये ऋषभ जी ने पूरा बोर कर दिया हमें, हम इतना एग्रीप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में इतना बता दिया कि it will take 10 days to digest each and everything. No worries. The eighth opportunity is for people who are luxury seekers, people who want to go and relax in the farm, in the lap of nature. You can become an agripreneur, you can develop your own farm, or you can help developing the other farm also. Because in life, we bring this opportunity. We are now, I'm giving you another example, a big opportunity which is yet to be created. We all know that hotel stay, resort stay is an 18 million rooms in the world, $525 billion industry, and the top players are IHG, Marriott, Hilton, Accor, etc. Then another industry which came in last 10 years is peer-to-peer homestay. मतलब हम किसी अजनबी के घर में जाके भी रह सकते हैं क्योंकि we have Airbnb, wherein we have 5.6 million, 56 लाख active listings हैं. We have OYO, 1,57,000 listings. We have Couchsurfing, 14 million, 1 करोड़ 40 लाख member हैं. So there are a lot of websites. They proved that it is immaterial whether you know your host or not. आप उस जगह में जा रहे हैं, एकदम नई जगह पे जा रहे हैं, एक नए घर में, एक अजनबी के घर में भी आप रह सकते हो, provided you book that property through reliable website, reliable portal, and you check the review and ratings. तो ये review और rating का जो system है, that works in every field. आज हम कुछ भी मूवी भी देखने जाते हैं या मूवी देखते हैं तो हम पहले उसका रिव्यू पढ़ते हैं. किसी होटल में रुकते हैं तो उसका रिव्यू, स्टार रेटिंग, ये सब मैटर करता है. तो इसी तरह से दिस मार्केट ऑफ पीयर टू पीयर इज $2.4 ट्रिलियन, विच इज 5 टाइम बिगर देन दी होटल मार्केट. तभी आप देख रहे हैं कि इन सभी कंपनीज को कितनी फंडिंग मिल रही है. नाउ आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट अनदर मार्केट विच इज अ फार्म मार्केट, लॉन्ग स्टे मार्केट. अगर आपको ऋषिकेश जाना है, आपको कसौली जाना है, आपको पुष्कर जाना है, तो आप कैसे जाओगे वहां पे? आपको अगर 15 दिन, महीना बिताना है तो क्या आप होटल में रहोगे या रिजॉर्ट में रहोगे? कहाँ रहोगे? यू नीड समथिंग यूनिक, राइट? So that unique market is still unique, the opportunity which is untapped, because in the world there are 570 million farmers. Let us think about it. I'm just giving you a food for thought. We have already started. We are getting very good response for last 1 year, but this is an opportunity for every chartered accountant because the world is so big. Wherever you are living, in India we have 700 towns. We have 6,50,000 villages. So the opportunity is massive. Just look at it. You can find out some of your strength matching to this opportunity, wherein you are a luxury seeker, you want to relax, you want to live near the nature, you want to take the health benefit, at the same time you want to create the wealth also. There are opportunities available. So what you can do is you can do the 200 plus checkpoint audit of the LifeDeco certified sites. So we are opening a lot of sites. We are partnering with the chartered accountants also who are into real estate, who are into banking space. They can do the audit for long stay living. They can do site financing. They can help in cottage financing, site audit, compliances, legal contracts. There are so many things because this is an innovative area, not tapped yet. It is evolving. So a lot of things are going to happen in this space for next 3 to 5 years. So thank you very much. I have my phone number, my email ID up to you, my website www.lifedeco.com. You can connect. All the agripreneurs can connect on WhatsApp freely. It is a free for all website. We have people from London, Canada, from various places, from Africa, India. It is growing. So I have kept it free because I'm funding it on my own. But of course, it should be useful for everyone. So this is what I help doing, and anybody who need any help, you can connect me on agripreneurship, on agri, food, value chain, climate financing, SDG, ESG. I'm always available. And thanks to all the institute, thanks to Ambala branch, thanks to management accounting team for giving me this opportunity to connect with my fellow fraternity friends, with my fellow chartered accountants. I hope you enjoyed it. Any questions we have,
Thank
Salilji,
you.
we can.
Thank you so much, sir, for such an excellent coverage. We really get some useful insights, and this session will serve as a good learning for all of us. Today's discussion will bring new avenues to the profession and will generate more opportunity for the fraternity. So, dear members, Sir is available for questions. If you have any queries, you can raise in the comment section. I will ask, and sir will happy to resolve all the queries you have. Rishabh sir, in the meantime, one question is of mine.
Please.
How you get in this agripreneurship? That I am reading out that you have a very vast scope, like from IOCL to Coca-Cola and to Oracle, from all the ups and downs, north to west, east to south, and how you landed in that agriculture entrepreneurship, and how this idea came into your mind, like from the MNC corporate culture to.
So basically, I am from the agripreneur family. I'm a 8th generation agripreneur myself. So my grandfather used to
Okay,
cultivate 10,000 acre in undivided India. So,
okay,
and I also have roots in Rajasthan and Punjab. So basically, the
okay,
agriculture flows in our family, like, from my childhood days, from soil to software, I used to connect the dots. But when I worked with the global organization, I felt that there is something which is missing in my life. So I should do something good for the country. I should do something good for the people. So I chose my practice area also, that wherever my practice goes, my profession and passion should merge, so that I am living only one life and one life dekho. So that is how I started
okay,
devoting my time in this.
okay. So let me check if any more questions from the
And
other
the
members
best
of
part is the
meeting.
natural farming. I'm more inclined towards the natural farming practices which are vanishing from our system. So I actually feel that everybody should get more deeper into the foods chain, so that they increase their immunity. So I believe in three principles: humanity, community, and immunity.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. And now I would also like to ask one more question of mine. Like you are saying about that long farm stay. So there is already a practicing going on in the community like that agri-tourism.
Ji.
Is that long farm stay is a replica of agri-tourism, or is there both are the different kind of concepts?
No, I think long farm stay is basically extension of agri-tourism, because in agri-tourism
Okay,
people go for the commercial resorts which are created on agri land. But in a long farm
okay,
stay, you are actually developing the agri land, and your human encroachment to that agri land is less than 10%. So it is not a real estate development. It is not a commercial development. It is a development in the lap of nature, wherein you respect the nature, but at the same time you enjoy the fruits of the nature also. So in all the 200 audit checkpoint we have created, we have 25 fruits, 25 vegetables, and there are so many other safety aspects wherein we want to motivate youth to go and live there. Like IT people, they can operate from anywhere in the world, right? So if they can operate from farm, they will remain healthy, they will remain more productive and more useful.
okay. So let me take one question. That Loknath Reddy ji want to ask you, sir, can you give some list regarding the financing option for farmers
Sure. Yeah, so financing
who
option for the
want to
farmers are,
gradually to grow big?
yeah, so farmers, those who want to
Yeah.
grow big, there are two options. You form a collective, like you can start as small as 5 farmer coming together and forming a self-help group, and they can have their own bank account. They can get funded. Then if you are a farmer with large land holding, or maybe you want to become a large FPO like 100, 200, 500 farm members, you can create an FPO under the Ministry of Corporate Affairs through MCA portal, and then your status will become much bigger, and lot of bigger benefits which are offered by the state government and the central government will be available too. You can claim grant also, you can claim venture capital, and you can also approach some VCs. Nowadays, lot of funding companies, they are preferring to invest in FPO. So, and very soon, and I am hoping that it will come faster than we think. SEBI is also trying to develop a social exchange wherein the farmer producer organization can also list. So a lot of funding avenues will open in the future.
Okay, thank you, sir. One of our members, Amit Khemuka, want to know that crop damage due to climate changes affect the farmers very severely. How can we help in this kind of context, sir?
Wonderful, Amitji. I really appreciate your question. The insurance, like India is an underinsured country. Like we have underinsurance in healthcare, in life. So agriculture comes at a very later stage. So when the farmer himself has not insured himself, you can understand there is a big opportunity in agri insurance space. So a lot of new startups are coming, and there is a big focus on agri insurance so that the climate risk can be mitigated through insurance. And as a chartered accountant, we know how to convince our client and how to make them aware about these kind of new products.
Okay, sir. The Sangeeta Suresh Kumar from South region is very passionate for being a mentor, and he want to know that opportunity for workshop or training which can be doing overseas.
Surely. So, Sangeeta ji, if you want to become trainer in agri space, then even as a in general you want to become coach, then there is a International Coach Federation, ICF. You can try it out. They have their programs, they have their affiliations. So you can open the international doors of as a coach or as a trainer. But in agri space, you can list with NABARD. NABARD is providing a lot of capacity building program. Then Agriculture Skill Development Council of India, which is a new formation other than the NSDC. So you can go and check their website. I have given the website address in my presentation. So you can go and check Agriculture Skill Development Council, and you register yourself as a trainer in that. And there is a big need of mentors and trainers in this space.
Okay, sir. Let me take one more question. Amit Khemuka. Oh, done. This is done. This is done. One more question is that sir, would you please once again share your contact details, because members are very eager to contact you personally. Can you once again please share the contact details?
Let me just open my. So this is my contact detail. My mobile number is 98734160002, and I would prefer if you WhatsApp me, because calling may not be picked up, but WhatsApp I will certainly reply. Rishabh@bizstreet.biz is my email ID. You can mail me your concern, your opportunity, whatever you are looking in this space, and any guidance you need as a fellow fraternity friend. rishabh@bizstreet.biz. You can connect me on LinkedIn. You can follow my post. I do regular post on LinkedIn about various innovative ideas, opportunities. Then you can also join www.lifedekho.com, which is a free for all agripreneurship. It's a LinkedIn of agripreneurs, wherein you can connect with fellow agripreneurs and share your ideas, build your network, and maybe get benefited. It's a free for all.
Sure, sir. Now one more question. Okay, thank you, sir. Now CA Jaishankar from East region want to ask about, sir, they are very concerned about that agripreneurship and livestock. Like they are asking about some poultry farming and marine farming, like fishery and all. So they are concerned, is agripreneurship is also linked with that fishery and poultry?
Agripreneurship is linked with poultry, fishery, duckery, or even the sericulture. Lot of everything falls under the agripreneurship domain. So there is nothing different. And believe me, the integrated agriculture, which is the ancient science of India, thousands of years ago, Indian agriculture was not monoculture. It was actually an integrated culture wherein animal husbandry, cultivation, poultry is all part of one only, because the output and the waste of one thing is an input for other things. So this is called zero waste farming. So if you do Google, you will find a lot of good research report on zero budget farming or zero waste farming, and that is the future.
Okay. So, sir, thank you so much. And I guess no more queries, no further queries from our member side. So, concludingly, I would like to invite CA Akhilesh Jindal ji, Treasurer Ambala branch of NIRC of ICI, for official vote of thanks. CA Jindal ji, over to you, sir.
Thank you, CA Salilji. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to thank Committee of Management Accounting of ICI to providing us the opportunity to host the seminar on role of chartered accountants in agripreneurship. Secondly, I'd like to thank CA Rishabh Kumar Savansukha ji, who spared his valuable time and came here to inform us on the various new fields and opportunities that is being opened up for us as a CA. On a lighter note, I like to add that recently someone said to me, it's better to be, I think, an agriculturist due to the recent events rather than being a CA, because they are being preferred more, I think. So, CA Rishabh ji has introduced us to a new field and with so much huge opportunities. And he in fact introduced 8 opportunities which are available to us right now. And I think we are going to be benefited a lot from him. CA Rishabh ji has given us a new venue, a new field and a new chance of doing our practice and increase our practice in fact. Entrepreneurship is a very vast field where as a CA, I believe we can do much better than any normal people. So thank you, Rishabh ji. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity and giving us this benefit. Thank you, CA Salil ji. Thank you, everyone, for attending this meeting and giving us your valuable time.
Thank you, Akhilesh ji, for your kind words, and thank you, Jaspreet ji, Salil ji, for organizing this event, because being from Punjab is always close to my heart, and I want to especially thank our Charanjot ji Nanda ji, CS Nanda ji, because he has always been an inspiration to me. I have looked up to him, and Surinder Pal ji from Institute of Chartered Accountant, but they are the visionary leaders in our professions, those who are guiding torch and guiding lights for us. I hope that all the listeners of this program must have benefited, and you will just think about it, that how you can support your clients who are into food business, agri business, input, output, financing, and how you can become more valuable to them and ultimately become more professionally successful. And big thanks to all my chartered accountant friends and the institute, which is our alma mater. And without institute, we are nothing. We are recognized because of our institute, because of our degree. And the best use of degree is to do something where your passion, profession, everything lies.
Before putting hold to my words, I would again like to thank you, all my professional colleagues, for joining today's webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, sir.